two young men in mental health crisis who were shot by police just 1 year apart. A disadvantaged community in Dover that's fighting fossil fuel expansions to pollute their air and water. Thousands of immigrants who face life-saving healthcare, who are blocked by bias and their insurance status and their immigration status. If you look around the room right now, chances are that you have just met an advocate for a community who is engaged in these incredibly important issues across the city and across our state. My name is McGregor Smythe. I'm Executive Director at New Lawyers with Public Interest, and I am so happy to welcome you to the 25th Felix A. Fishman Awards for Extraordinary Advocacy. This is one of our favorite events here, where we're able to gather together and celebrate each other, but also incredible leaders in the work that we're doing. For those of us who we are just meeting, a little bit about me. We combine the power of law organizing, private bar, and Chief Justice for all New York. A couple things about our basic DNA. We are community-driven, not issue-driven. We know that the people closest to the problems are closest to the solutions. We take their leadership in setting our priorities as an organization. We also know that systemic problems require creative solutions. So we litigate, educate, we organize and mobilize, all to make sure that there's lasting change in partnership with our communities. Now, we live in tense and tragic times, and that is one of the reasons why it is such a joy to come together tonight in solidarity and community with each other to celebrate the work that we do together. I look around this room and I see partners in all of the struggles for justice that we're engaged with our communities. With friends, activists, colleagues, board members, PBAC members, supporters of all stripes. And together we are activating communities and their power to create a better future with their vision. And most of you gather today to celebrate two incredible leaders who've been wonderful partners to build this in our work. We'll hear about them today. We also are here wanted to make sure to talk about the personal and moral force of Felix A. Fishman, who the awards are named after. He was a man of character, passion, and curiosity. He was a stellar lawyer at the law firm of Moses and Sigler for over 65 years. And his moral sensibilities that the family has really let us get to know were shaped by both the Great Depression and the Civil Rights movement. And apparently also a stint in Borscht Belt. Also true. He was a thoughtful philanthropist. He spent 3 decades as a trustee of the Henry Lucy Moses Fund, and overseeing the distribution of hundreds of millions of dollars to meaningful causes across the city and the state. And so we're actually really delighted to welcome several of his family members and trustees, both here in the room and also virtually, because we live in this wonderful movement. And it's great to have you here celebrating with us. And finally, I want to make sure to thank Geneva and her team. Absolutely phenomenal events. Which every single person who's come up to me has commented on. They were like, "I'm in space." Now I would like to turn to the most important part, just about our honorees. And I wanted to ask Marnie Burke to step up to introduce Chai to our first honoree.
Hi, everyone. It's so nice to be here with you all. Yeah. Can you people hear it?
It's hard in the back.
It's hard to hear. Okay. Okay, hold on. Can people hear it a little better? A little better. Okay, great. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to be here with you all on this gorgeous, gorgeous night. It's my great pleasure to introduce our first honoree tonight, Jindasurat-Yasui. A nonprofit New York, our longstanding partner, where we so often put our heads together to help build a thriving ecosystem of nonprofits. Nonprofit New York's work is centered on advancing and uniting the work of over 4,000 nonprofits with advocacy, training, networking, and guidance. I want to welcome Chai's many friends, colleagues, and his husband, Taylor. Under Chai's guidance, he has led the organization's efforts to set policy for the sector in new and inventive ways. He has been a fierce and effective advocate for the funding and advancement of nonprofits within all levels of government, and his unparalleled work during the pandemic made him a hero to us all. I think as much as being a tenacious organizer and advocate for nonprofits, what stands out about Chai is how he does things. Chai is a relationship builder. He has unwavering principles and deep empathy for others. When I asked Meg Barnett, who runs Nonprofit New York, about Chai, she said, Chai always speaks the truth. Chai has done so much for the sector, it's hard to summarize it all, but here are 3 important initiatives he's championed. During the pandemic, Chai played a central role in the inclusion of nonprofits in federal food relief. Those essential programs helped keep the sector afloat during incredibly difficult times. Chai conceived of and led and leads over 100 groups in the coalition to advance nonprofits, known to many of us as CAN, first leading advocacy efforts against budget cuts, and later with an ever-evolving and ambitious plans. Lastly, Chai set a citywide policy agenda during the 2021 campaigns. He hosted a forum and drafted policy with some 50 organizations, a small organizing feat. And Chai has made all of this magic while being a student at CUNY Law School, where he will graduate this May. I am so proud. During law school, Chai has been dedicated to his work at the Defender's Clinic on clemency and post-conviction relief for clients serving lengthy prison sentences. Through hard work and collaboration, he was able to secure releases for his clients, a very rare outcome. His professor, Nicole Smith-Butrell, said of Chai that his work for clients was driven by a true commitment to social justice. And Nicole added, he is the kind of student that inspires teachers like us to keep at it. Chai, you inspire us all. We look forward to watching all of the audacious change you make in the world. We are delighted to honor you tonight with the Felix Fishman Award. For your tireless advocacy for a vibrant and thriving nonprofit community, touching the lives of all New Yorkers. April 16th, 2024.
Oh my gosh, wow. Thank you, Marnie. I had no idea that you were these things by professors. Wow. I am so touched by this honor and that introduction. And when I think about my work at Nonprofit New York, a couple things come to mind. I think that the last 5 years, in a lot of ways, have been really, really challenging. But all of our members, our 1,100 members, make it easy to be a champion because you all inspire me to be able to keep doing what I do to serve the sector.
we can't do anything alone. All of our advocacy work is in coalition. And so I hope that this recognition and this honor is shared. It is ours. It is our members, it is our teams, it is the entire nonprofit sectors. So I like the saying, my success is our success is your success. I want to thank my husband, Taylor. Who is you? Why is in the house? Taylor's been such an amazing support system to me through a pretty challenging time, even through the interviewing process. I had pretty bad imposter syndrome when I wanted this job. Through really working all hours of the day during the pandemic, from our kitchen table in our very small studio that we used to live in to today. And I also want to thank one of my many mentors, Sharon Staple, who saw something in me and hired me to be the first person to build up the policy department. I want to thank Meg, our president, who is filling in for me in Albany today. She's not able to be here. Our other board members, Rob and Amara, who are here. Our amazing team who is here, and both past and present. And a very special shout out to Celine and Tara, our policy team. We do this work together. And so I hope this honor is yours too, the standards too. I'm so proud of all of you. I also just want to take a moment to acknowledge, as Marnie said, the trauma of the past 2 years. I don't think we've been able to really do that. And this night has given me an opportunity to sit and think about that. I want to take us back to early 2020. Nonprofit New York had just created a really bold and exciting new policy agenda. We were starting our campaigns, and then the pandemic came to New York. And all of our community members, our family, our friends started to get sick and die. Everything shut down. Our whole world changed overnight, and the economy fell completely out from under us. It was a really, really scary time. And for the nonprofit sector, Elizabeth Clay Roy, who at that time was the executive director of Taking Justice, had the foresight to reach out to me and ask if we could issue a letter, a message to funders on behalf of the nonprofit sector, because we were so uncertain about whether we could meet our grant and contract deliverables, whether funding would come through, and there were all these new needs for services. And so I pulled a convening together. I just held space and asked people to come and tell us, what are you concerned about? How is this affecting you? And if we were to issue something, what would you say? The turnout was way more than we expected. It was about 80 nonprofit leaders, and everybody was in shock. They were very scared. There was so much anxiety. Organizations were they had to make some of the most challenging problems while our communities needed us most. Frontline workers were being asked to go out and provide services without PPE in unsafe conditions. A lot of organizations were already on the brink of financial collapse and had no idea if their funding was going to come through from the city. Even the largest cultural organizations had major deficits that they were facing overnight. And we're talking about layoffs, closing, service reductions. And so a few of us stayed up late that night and we put together an open letter. Many of you remember this open letter to government with a list of demands, several demands at city, state, federal levels, and also a message to funders. And that led to 500 organizations signing on and the birth of the Coalition to Advance Nonprofits. And through that, we've done some really, really amazing advocacy work together, including making sure that nonprofits were included in 3 federal relief bills, repealing a retaliatory state law that targeted advocacy organizations. And I want to lift up Laura Abel and Amara here, who worked very, very closely with me daily on getting that done. And then that led to 3 years of legislative state wins in a row, which is pretty unheard of. So I'm so proud of everything that we've been able to do together. And because of the coalition, we were then able to respond to Hurricane Ida when we needed to, and most recently, as Marnie mentioned, push back against the mayor's 15% budget cuts in the Y15 campaign, which we came together, we're advocating, they're taking notice, they canceled the 5% cut in April, we are going to push through until they get full restorations. So that campaign is not done. And it wouldn't be an access to justice event if I didn't take the event to talk about the work that we still have to do. And there are many things that we still need to do as a coalition to ensure that nonprofits are actual partners, true partners of philanthropy and government, and to actualize our commitment to racial justice we're talking about for many years now. So just 2 points on that. One is that from our data, we know that white leaders are overrepresented in the nonprofit sector in every single county, across every single budget size, and every community of color is underrepresented relative to the population. And we also know that due to white supremacy, it is people of color who were the ones who were having to go out and do the work when the pandemic shut everybody down. It's people of color who are receiving most of the services, and it's the people of color who are on the front lines of organizations who are receiving the least amount of funding. But leaders of color and transgender leaders do not have the same supports to rise to the level of executive director, of CEO, and when they do, they are not set up for success. So we have to keep working on this issue. And when it comes to contract, we know the city remains severely delinquent in paying nonprofits for the work they've already done. This wreaks havoc on operations, on ability to make payroll, rent, and it harms small, BIPOC-led, BIPOC-serving, and LGBTQ organizations the most, because those organizations on the margins do not have the resources or the lines of credit to be able to float 2 years of funding before getting paid. So both of these issues are things we have to keep pushing on, and we will continue pushing on as a coalition. I know we will all do this together. Yes. It has been my great honor to be able to serve the sector in this role. Thank you again to NYLPI. Much love, everyone.
Thank you so much. I mean, among other things, it's amazing to hear about the long-term partnership that we have, both as our membership of the organization, but also our nonprofit clients that really need this policy and change out there. It also really brought me back to those dark times. Even just thinking organizationally, and your work threw us 3 massive lifelines that allowed all of us to stay safe and secure in our jobs and our healthcare and in our own safety. And it was because of the advocacy. I also love that Nicole is here a lot with us because we cut our teeth together in the Bronx. This baby is her name. So it's a wonderful full circle. I would now love to ask Karina Downstate, who is one of our co-directors of justice, who's going to introduce our fantastic second declaration.
It is indeed hard to follow that one, but I'm going to do my best. It's looking around. I'm so impressed, and I have to say, my Tuesday nights are not normally this glamorous. So thank you for all of you for coming here, and thank you for the people who put this event on, and for the opportunity to tell you all about one vision. Dr. Caroline Rochon. Dr. Rochon's dedication to health equity started long before this award. A graduate of McGill University in Montreal, she earned both her undergraduate and medical degrees there. Prior to her transformative work at SUNY Downstate, she served as the director of kidney transplantation at Hartford Hospital and held professorship at the University of Connecticut. There, she impressively doubled the program's transplant volume within just 3 years. But one of Dr. Rochon's most remarkable achievements, and the reason we honor her today, is her unwavering leadership in challenging the status quo. For far too long, undocumented people have faced a medical system that has denied them transplants, even though they are overrepresented in the deceased donor organ. Dr. Rochon refused to accept this painful reality. She and her team identified long-term barriers to care and took decisive steps to dismantle them. In her own words, she looked around and asked, who is missing and how do we get them here? This simple question sparked a revolution. Under Dr. Rochon's leadership, SUNY Downstate, the only safety net transplant program in New York City and the only one in Brooklyn's bustling immigrant community, is changing the landscape of transplant access in New York, one patient at a time. This work requires immense courage, determination, and humanity. And for that, we thank you. One of my favorite memories of Dr. Rochon, and one that I think exemplifies her remarkable character, is of our first meeting. We first met virtually during the pandemic, and despite distance and anxieties at the time, our team felt an immediate connection to Dr. Rochon. She was clearly brilliant and accomplished, yet refreshingly practical. Her unwavering belief resonated deeply. If undocumented individuals can generously donate organs, then transplant centers must find ways to help them receive transplants in their country. Our collaboration with Dr. Rochon and her team at SUNY Downstate has yielded incredible results. A record number of undocumented and formerly uninsured individuals have progressed through evaluation, listing, transplant, and are now living healthy lives with their families and in their communities. That's a good clap, yeah. Their dreams once on hold due to dialysis are now flourishing. With Dr. Rochon modeling the way, we can expect even greater access to transplant across the city and state. So please join me very warmly in welcoming our esteemed recipient, Dr. The transformative role enabling access to life-saving medical care in New York City's immigrant community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow, it's really humbling to stand here. I am not as eloquent as Chai, so I have some notes. Sorry. I look better in the operating room. So thank you so much. It means so much to be here and to really take care of this partnership. So I want to start by thanking NYLPI and NYLPI and Karina specifically. With our partner over 2.5 years now that we've been working together on this amazing project. We're better humans just for working with you. So thank you. So I need to acknowledge all the work and initiative and passion that Dr. Finig has thrown into this this project. Dr. Finig now works in California, and we miss him profoundly. From the moment he had joined our team, he really took on this project, rallied the stakeholders, and laid the ground foundation to a program that now is an organized clinical pathway for patients who get access to care in the greater New York City area. And we're very thankful for his input, although he is on the sunnier side of the planet right now. I need to say thank you to my husband, Sean, and my daughter, Abigail, who are here tonight. They're in everything I do, and they make me feel amazing every day. French Canadians were very emotional. So transplant is a team sport. The Downstate transplant team is the absolute best team in the city. So tonight I accept this award in the name of all the members of this resilient and amazing team. Thank you so much. So our mission at Downstate has been to break barriers to transplantation and deliver the best care for all. The older patients, the smaller patients, the very big patients, those are scared, those are strong. Those who have lived in central Brooklyn all their lives, and those who have come from very far away into adversity to make it their home. And because of the work that we've done together, we now transplant those with all the good paperwork, and those with missing pieces of paperwork, all the same. Our team is so passionate about transplantation that I have to tell you, don't come to our service, to our offices unannounced, because you might leave with extra body parts. Right? Am I right? So together, we are more than the sum of our parts. Together, we can do so much. And this is just the beginning of all the things that we're going to do together. I know I'm very humbled to be here, and I feel so thankful for this partnership and for my team. You know, Isaac Newton said, I can see further. If I can see further now, it is because I stood on the shoulders of giants. And this is how I feel tonight, because I'm in this room with people like you. So thank you so much for making me.
Now it's really hard to follow someone who actually saves lives. And just know that we are committed to making sure that you continue to have a long presence in life because it's so critical to our client communities, our shared client communities. And we want to make sure that that happens. If you feel like there's a larger battle where the governor is trying to face but lastly, I would like to call up our incredible board chair, Brandon McDowell.
Thank you all. So it is very hard to follow our two esteemed honorees. And thank you for all the work that you've done and your partnership with NYLPI. So as McGregor mentioned, my name is Lorraine McGowan, and I have the honor of serving as the chair of the board of directors of NYLPI. And on behalf of the board of NYLPI, I want to express our deepest gratitude to all of you for joining us today. Your presence and support mean the world to us, and we could not be more grateful. As I reflect on everything that we've heard this evening, I am filled with so much pride. Hearing these stories of the work that our two honorees have done with our coalitions and with NYLPI. Together, we have fought tirelessly for environmental and immigrant justice, disability rights, and access to health care. We have made a difference in the lives of countless individuals, families, and the communities that we serve. And we have a commitment to do even more in the future. NYLPI could not do what we do without the people standing in this room. I recognize that. Thank you. For your support, for your partnership, and your unwavering commitment to our mission. And I would like to thank, on behalf of NYLPI's board, our NYLPI team members who are here today, because we couldn't achieve our mission without our incredible team. Every single one of you has the power to make a difference. And we urge you to continue to partner with us as we work to create a more just and equitable New York for all. As we look to the future, we are more determined than ever, and we take on the mantle that John mentioned, that there's so much work to be done, creating a more just and equitable New York for all. So again, I don't want to keep you from drinks and the hors d'oeuvres. I want to thank you for your support and your continuing work that you're doing for NYLPI. Thank you.